TikTok, the Chinese video sharing platform that was banned in India 5 years ago, seems to be making a comeback. Or at least that's what their active website tells us. In a positive sign for the fans, the website of the short video application is accessible for some users, sparking speculations about a possible return of TikTok in India. However, the TikTok application is still unavailable on the various Play stores, Google, Apple Play stores, you name it. And whilst there is no official confirmation from TikTok or its parent company ByteDance on the return of the short video application to India, the comeback of the website has given rise to a wave of excitement amongst the fans. Some users have also reported on X that the website is not accessible to them, suggesting a phased rollout of TikTok in India. Users also said that some of the sub pages are not accessible yet, but you can see the main website. But here's why TikTok timed out in India. 5 years ago, back in June 2020, the central government under Prime Minister Narendra Modi banned the application TikTok along with other popular Chinese apps. As many as 59 Chinese applications were banned in the country, including Share It, Me Video Call, Club Factory, and Cam Scanner. The center cited a threat to national security and sovereignty as the reason for TikTok ban, as well as that of the other applications. However, the geopolitical landscape has changed massively since 2020. India and China have held 24 rounds of talks regarding border tensions, and they have proved to be fruitful in recent times. Donald Trump's tariff turmoil on India and China have resulted in a surprise thawing of tensions between the two countries. Not saying that these are fresh friends in the neighborhood, but with Prime Minister Modi now scheduled to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping later this month in Tianjin as part of that SCO summit. So what's really happening? Is this a teased comeback, or are we going to look at actual rollout? Joining us here on the broadcast is Kanishk Gaur, founder, India Future Foundation, a tech expert with a keen expertise on these matters. Now, Kanishk, how does one look at these developments? Is it safe to say that they are going to be making a comeback? Because the TikTok site, I'm actually looking at it right now, it suddenly is accessible in India after 5 years, though the application remains unavailable on the various Play stores. Now, do you see this as a technical glitch, or is this a first signal of an official comeback? The site seems to be absolutely revamped. You keep scrolling down and the graphics keep doing a number on you, just like the Apple website is. So what's really happening here, Kanishk?
I see this as a geopolitical realignment for India. India has so far been more aligned with Quad, but with the US sanctions with of 50% tariff, you would see India getting more aligned on BRICS and try to revive its own economy and build up more stronger relationship with Russia and looking at revamping its relationship with China so that it can continue to sustain its economy. For India, today it's a matter of survival. So you might see further action in terms of government unbanning some of the erstwhile Chinese applications which were considered dangerous, a threat to national security. India will follow its own geopolitics, follow its own interests, and you would see certain measures being taken to ease the tension between India and China. What you're seeing is just the beginning of what is about to come.
Right. But at the same point in time, because one also has to understand that these intermediaries, back when they were banned on the pretext of national security and sovereignty, now that they're starting to make a little bit of a comeback, we still don't know, no official word either by ByteDance, just that this website is active. And the first page of this website says, our mission is to inspire creativity and bring joy. And I'm going to ask you, Kanishk, when we're talking about the evolution of an application or a website, now that these ties seem to be thawing, I'm again mentioning we're not friends in the neighborhood again. It's just a little bit of a geopolitical realignment because the times are telling and they require us to do so. Has TikTok as an application and as a website, if it's specifically focusing towards Indians or the Indian market, has it evolved enough to address these issues of national security or sovereignty?
So TikTok has been long eyeing the entry back in the Indian market, and they have been trying to meet the Indian government to build back that trust and ensure that the security concerns which were erstwhile highlighted by the Ministry of Electronics Information Technology are taken into consideration, and the law of the land in India is respected. So TikTok will provide additional measures to ensure it brings back the trust which it had erstwhile ruined with the political leadership of India. And TikTok has been trying to do this for a long time, saying that it is not a company which is just headquartered in Chinese, but it is a global company and it continues to work in the US market, in the European market, and the UK market. You would see TikTok has not been banned in other countries, while other countries like the US made strong objections to TikTok and it being a national security risk, but there was no banning of TikTok in those markets. India went forward and banned TikTok. So I would see that India would try and soften its stance. And this happened when India was in a conflict with China with respect to the issues on Galwan and the border skirmishes which happened, which resulted in death of Indian soldiers. Now, when we are trying to see Mr. Jaishankar going on to Beijing and trying to mellow down the tensions and start a new partnership with
You're
China,
absolutely right.
you would
We are doing whatever we can in our diplomatic, capacity. If TikTok, let's say tomorrow, were to re-enter the Indian market, what kind of compliance are we looking at? That's exactly what I'm talking about and trying to understand. Because when we cited national security and sovereignty, are we going to talk about regulating data localization? Are we going to look at security audits? Are we going to look at what kind of partnerships ByteDance has across the world? I mean, it would need to satisfy the regulators, right?
So, one, in terms of data sharing, which TikTok does with the Chinese government. Second, how does TikTok safeguard user personal identifiable information of Indian nationals? And additionally, if Indian government wants to bring out data localization norms as per its upcoming data protection bills, TikTok will have to build out those customizations and build up additional security measures to ensure data is not leaked out from TikTok apps unknowingly, which TikTok was earlier accused of doing.
Do you think we've already focused upon geopolitics, but looking ahead, do you think that TikTok can make a full comeback? And is the market ready for something like that? Because we do know that when it comes to social media, the Indian market, 140 crores strong, so many of those, that have that digitized mobile phones with them, the cheapest data that we, push towards our public at large. Do you think we're ready for TikTok? Because we jump at a trend, we chew it up, and we then spit it out. Are we ready to take in this trend, knowing the fact that there's a nationalistic angle to this?
There was always a market for TikTok in India. And when TikTok exited India because of the ban, there were multiple Indian startups which tried to replace TikTok, but they were not able to get the size and the scale which TikTok operated in India, including some of the Indian startups like Josh and the other ones which were started. So there is a strong market for company like TikTok in India, and there is a mass user which is willing to basically monetize what TikTok is producing. And you would see that TikTok has grown extremely well in other markets. Given the user base in India, the average revenue per customer, uh, looking at the dimensions of advertising, TikTok could have huge success in India.
Well, we'll have to wait and find out whether how Instagram Reels and Meta and YouTube Shorts are now going to be, feeling right now. What must be going on in those headquarters now that TikTok is seemingly, it looks like it. We're still not sure. Only the website has gone activated. Kanish, before I let you go, any fresh new meme or some new trend that you would want to try out once TikTok is applicable and active?
So I think new meme or TikTok I will try is gonna be made in Bharat. So if TikTok can become made in Bharat and can make made in Bharat more trending, that would be my meme which I would want to float on
Well,
TikTok.
that's a great thought. Use a Chinese application to put forth the idea of Make in Bharat. That's a great idea. Kanish Gaur, founder, India Future Foundation tech expert. Many thanks for joining us here on the broadcast, helping us put this story into perspective. Still early doors, but let's wait and watch as to what really happens on the ground.